Well, 2020 is over, which according to my Facebook means that at the stroke of midnight on January 31st, all of the bad shit from 2020 magically came to an end, and we're ready to head into this year pandemic-free, and, you know, the arrows on the ground of the grocery store no longer matter, apparently, or so I've been observing.
Right.
Welcome back. This is weird. It's weird to be talking to you.
It's always weird when I talk with you. Is that what you mean?
I think in general, I don't know if it's like right this second thing. I think in general, it's weird that I talk to you.
But,
you know,
joking aside, I totally get what you mean when our routine has been off for good reasons, for taking a break, but it's definitely different and nice to be back.
Well, and there was the thing with the classified thing with the government that we can't talk about. But
you've already said too much.
That's over now. Mission fulfilled. We can go back to
podcasting for the government.
Yeah, go back to the mundane life of podcasting as opposed to espionage. But you know, it's you got to ride the highs and the lows.
You gotta.
I'd like to point out I have no idea what I sound like right now, but I have thrown audio quality to the wind. You know what? I'm not at home. I'm not where I normally record.
Sure.
And I could have put work and effort into like sound padding and like there are spots in the cottage-esque farmhouse thing that I'm in.
Sure.
That would have probably proved better for audio. However, I opted for sitting on a couch beside a crackling wood stove. And I'm not going to make any apologies. So if this
here's
sounds
the thing. I think you made the right decision. If
you listen to this and it reminds you of, if you're getting a similar feeling in your stomach as you did when you watched Cats, I apologize for that, but I'm not. What do you mean, why?
Why would they?
Didn't you feel nauseous while watching Cats?
Oh, yeah, never mind. I see what
Doesn't bad audio quality make you nauseous, or is that just me? I'm the only audiophile.
I don't get nauseous, but
I get bent out of shape about audio.
You do, but I get where you were going. I wasn't sure what the deal was here.
So welcome back though. How you been? You been good?
I've been good. It's nice to take a break sometimes, even if it's a fun hobby that you like. It's just to break up the year or break up whatever. I guess it was just a week and a half that we were off. It was nice. I watched some film. I relaxed a little bit. Like everyone, life went on. I worked. I did this. I did that. So in some ways it was the same. In some ways it was different. But regardless, I am healthy. I am well. How are you?
Good. I'm good. Yeah. I've also, being sort of a different year with not being able to get together and have like family gatherings and stuff like that. I've had a stupid amount of time to watch movies.
Yeah, that's right.
And so we're not gonna recap what we've watched.
No,
because next week we are returning to our regular programming. This episode and our next episode are just kind of what are these? What do you want to call these? These are like,
you could call them either bonus or new release episodes or some combination of the two. Yeah.
Anyways, when that happens, and I guarantee, like, I'm going to watch more movies between now and then. But if we were to do it right now, now we're like, okay, stop everything. Let's talk about what we've watched since we spoke last.
Sure.
I would have 17 films to tell you about.
Holy Hannah. Like, yeah. Just as a side note. So
there'll be a couple more. So
just as a side note, I thought, like, I knew I've got a list as well, so I don't forget. And I knew you are a cinephile. You watch a lot of new things, like you expose yourself to new films. Sometimes I just kind of watch something similar or the same thing over again just because I like returning to what I know. But regardless, I thought I had a list that I thought was impressive. I was like, this is actually a pretty substantial list. I knew you would beat it just because you are like, kudos to you. My hat's off to you.
Because I have no life.
No. No, I'm not saying that.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
But what I'm saying is, I thought you were going to beat me. You trounced me. And I mean that as a compliment. So,
and you know what? Admittedly, and we'll get to this next week. Admittedly, a lot of these films I've already seen. They're
Sure.
rewatches of films.
Yeah.
And many of them are like, I watched all 3 of these. I watched all 5 of this series.
Sure.
You know, which is so that number grows very quickly if you're tackling a series. But anyways, let's get to it.
Let's get to it.
We're here to talk about movies, a movie, a film, if you will, although I don't believe any film was used in the production of it. We're not here to talk about a cinematic adventure. We're here to talk about what should have been, what would have been a cinematic adventure, but in all reality was a ass groove on the living room couch, popcorn with a stained wife beater experience. I don't own a wife beater, for the record, and if I did own a wife beater and it got stained, I would throw that out. That seems like in bad taste.
I also just like, I've muscle shirts. I feel like, or at least I feel a little bit better saying like like the political correctness of the term wife beater. I'm not. Yeah,
is that what we're?
I don't even know. Yeah, I feel.
It's just because you only ever see sleazebags wearing in movies. In movies.
For sure.
I'm sure I know some non-sleazebags who own a white undershirt.
The cliche. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, in the movies, it's always Timmy who's maybe a little too close to his sister. That's the guy, doesn't own a comb, or maybe owns a comb but doesn't use it. That's the guy, Mm-hmm. This was weird. We had 2 films. This one, and one we're about to do our next episode.
Yes.
Both came out on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
In our homes on 2 different streaming services. One on Disney Plus, one on HBO Max.
Yep.
The HBO Max one, which we'll talk about in the next episode, it's actually it's substantial because it's like the first of a long line of films coming from this studio to HBO Max this coming year.
Right.
And that's significant for a couple of reasons. But this is this is the second film that we've gotten from Disney that has gone straight to streaming as a result of the pandemic. So the first one obviously being Mulan.
Yep.
And Mulan was a Premier Access. So it didn't matter that you had Disney Plus. It was Disney Plus, $30, the keys to your car and your firstborn, and then you could watch Mulan.
Right.
And now I don't have a car, and when I do have a child, it's going to be rough.
You've got some debt. You've got some debt to pay.
I got some debt. I got some human debt, which you should never owe a human.
No.
But so we did Mulan. When Soul was approaching, we talked about it. I think it was never any doubt that we were going to do Soul. I mean, it's Pixar.
So. Yeah, exactly.
I was skeptical going into Soul. I kind of thought, I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll do Soul. It kind of just, like, from the trailers and the feel, I was like, oh, okay, it kind of looks like a weird, bastardized rehashing of Inside Out. Like, it's sort of that, like,
right,
metaphysical thing. Like, and the character design is kind of similar.
Sure. And it's from the same creator, Pete Docter.
Same stuff, yeah. And so I was like, oh, okay, this is weird. Like, this doesn't seem very original, but yeah, we set out to to do it anyways. Right off the bat,
Sure. Yeah.
going into this, the last Pixar film we reviewed was Onward. And
Yes.
we both neither of us hated Onward. I think Onward, if I know for me anyways, and if I'm remembering correctly, both left us with left a lot to be desired.
Sure.
In our opinion. Just kind of the world didn't feel like a Pixar world. Some of the story choices felt maybe cliched or a little shallow. We had a bunch of suggestions for how it could have been deeper, things that could have had a little more emotional impact.
Sure.
And I think I said to you, like, this is Pixar, but the world doesn't feel like a Pixar world. Like, you could have said, oh, that was DreamWorks, or that was, whatever, Illumination, although Illumination's animation is a little bit different. But yeah, you could have said, oh, that was DreamWorks. That was like the same guys that do How to Train Your Dragon.
Sure.
And I would have been like, okay, sure. that seems on brand for them.
Right.
So yeah, I wasn't thrilled with Onward. Going into Soul,
Okay.
I think a combination of that and already looking at the trailers thinking, okay, Inside Out ripoff.
Right. Yeah.
What kind of, if you could sum it up, what experience did you have with Soul?
I went in with not very high expectations. Not that I was trying to lowball it, but I just wanted to go in neutral. I would put very meh. I'm very pleased it wasn't an exclusive access like Mulan was, like Wonder Woman 1984 was. Like, I'm glad that it was just included within a subscription that I already subscribed to. So as far as a financial cost, I wasn't out anything, I guess. If I wouldn't say I hated it enough to say, wow, there's 2 hours of my life I'll never get back. So there wasn't like a time cost that I was uncomfortable with. But without getting too deep into it, it's not in the platinum. It's not in the gold of Pixar. I'm not even sure. You were just mentioning Onward. You made me believe some of the changes you were kind of suggesting to me, where I was saying, wow, you're right, you're on to something. And I think it's maybe one or two maybe left turns where they went right, or a couple small modifications away from really being something swell or really being something substantial. Is with Pixar Soul, I don't know if it was really one or two things off from really hitting a home run. I think I don't think there was anything overall horrible. I don't think there was anything awful. It was just a lot of average. And we'll get into that. But yeah, I don't think there was just one or two minor tweaks. There was one main issue that I had with it, or what I think there's a way, or there's something I've identified why I don't think I liked it as much as other Pixar films, but there wasn't. It wasn't close to pulling off something like, say, Onward was, with maybe one or two key things off.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. So you preferred Onward?
Yeah. I don't know if I might actually say that, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean...
So overall, it's not a super positive review for you for Soul.
No, not particularly. No.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. You've kind of stumped me with that question.
I think I differ from you.
And you kind of stumped me with that question. I'm a little bit of a deer in the headlights because I've never really thought of the two side by side. Which would I choose? I'm just kind of knee-jerking reaction saying, I guess probably Onward. But
right.
I'd have to give it some thought.
Okay. Interesting. So yeah, I mean, I have issues with Soul.
Sure.
There's things that I think I would change. There are things that I think the marketing was a little misleading about.
Oh.
Or at least the marketing that I saw.
Sure. I'm intrigued by that.
But overall, so I wouldn't put it in platinum. I would probably put it in gold, though.
Oh, really?
I would rather watch Soul than Toy Story 4.
That's...
And I mean, I didn't like Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
So that's not a huge, but I would rather watch it than Toy Story 4. I'd rather watch it than I'd rather watch it than Onward. I would certainly rather watch it than Cars.
Listen though.
But I mean,
the things that you gotta give me a more relevant example, because I mean, I wouldn't watch Cars to save. Okay, I would maybe watch it to save someone from a burning building, but you know what I mean.
I would.
Cars.
I would rather watch. I'd rather watch Soul than Finding Dory.
Oh,
than
really?
The sequel to Finding Nemo.
Okay.
I would rather watch Soul than the second Incredibles movie.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
Is that substantial?
That is substantial. You've caught my attention when you listed Cars.
But
you listed Toy Story 4.
Had a bunch of issues with the second Incredibles film.
No,
like the second Incredibles film, I thought was too. I thought politics got too.
Okay. Sure.
I thought they were trying to like really have like a woman power message, which I'm fine with. I like that's fantastic. But it just felt like it was maybe at the cost of some of the story.
Oh, okay. Sure.
You know, it was like that moment from Avengers Endgame where it's like, and for the next 30 seconds only, just the women Avengers. And you're like, but would that happen? Why are they all concentrated in one spot? That doesn't make any sense. They'd be like spread out throughout the whole. And yeah, it's this great like fan service girl power moment, but like, what? Why? That wouldn't happen. You know. Yeah. So there's one thing I would change. Really, I think there's only one thing I would change about Soul.
Okay.
The thing that I think was different from the marketing is most of the marketing that I saw, I think, comes from the first 30 minutes of the film.
Yeah, okay.
Before Jamie Foxx's character dies.
Sure.
And then while he's a little friggin' whatever he is, while he's like a soul. Mm-hmm. I saw very little, and I mean, I didn't watch every trailer that came out. But I was like, the fact that the majority of the movie 22 was in his body and he was in a cat, I was like, oh, like I thought maybe this would be like a short gimmick and then they'd be done with it. But it's like, it's a substantial chunk of the film where that's what's happening, where they're back on Earth. And so it was just, there was a lot less of like, from the, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but from a lot of the marketing, I think I was expecting something more along the lines of A Christmas Carol, where it all kind of takes place in the metaphysical, and there's a lot of like going back and seeing moments from his life, and things start to click for him, and stuff, and that just wasn't what we got, which is more sort of what Inside Out is. Right. Yes. And so because I was getting that vibe from the trailers, I was like, oh, okay, we're just ripping off Inside Out. And so I guess maybe it's good that that's not what it was, but it's certainly not what I went into, it's not what I went into the movie expecting.
Right. That's true.
And so that's where I think the marketing was a little misleading.
That's true. Actually, that component really caught me off guard as well.
And I really like, and it was funny. Like,
any of
the time that they would, like, cut away from Jamie Foxx as the cat, and they gave you, like, other people's perspective, where it's just a dude arguing with a cat, and the cat's like, meow, 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 meow. And you're like, oh, that's really funny. But that was, it just, I was like, I kept waiting for that to end. But it's like most of the movie is this dude stuck in a cat. Yeah, it was just, so that was jarring. Yeah. What is your big issue with this film? What is the thing that keeps you up at night thinking, I hate Soul?
I want to be careful how I phrase it, because it's not a fundamentally big issue, but I think it's maybe the issue that separates this to some of the platinum standard Pixar films. And I really was trying to put my finger on the pulse, really trying to articulate what it was. And I think this is it, or at least it's related to this. I wonder, and maybe we don't get political. We don't get we're not here for the news, sports, and weather of the world. We are here as a distraction to that. But I wonder if maybe part of the world climate maybe influenced my viewing of this film. And I just wonder if it was just too much of a real concept to me. And I think for me, the magic of some platinum Pixar films is how fantastical they are. So when we're talking about Toy Story, we have toys that are alive and that are talking, and their big issue of the day is, will someone play with me, and will someone put me in the cupboard or not? With Monsters, Inc., it's a fantastical element.
I need to fix my cardboard ship so I can rendezvous with Star Command.
Right. For me, these platinum films are so fantastical, but what makes them magical, or what makes them profound, is even as fantastical as they are, there's some connection that they can make with the real life audience that's watching them and say, wow, okay, I can relate with Woody with this feeling of abandonment, or insert blank, whatever example you want to give. And I think that's what's platinum for me. That's what's magical for me. With this, it was a very grounded, very real story. I know I get it. There was the fantastical element of, what's life before life and what's life after death, and all these kind of artistic renderings of, fun, kind of vibrant things that they can kind of articulate on the screen. But for me, I'm wondering if it was just a little too morbid, a little too real. It's just maybe it's not fantastical, like I said. It's too real life, and I think there's still ways for films of these Pixar films to be have something of a baseline, something of a here's the point of the story, that we still relate to it. We still walk away with a tear. We still walk away feeling moved, feeling different. I'm not saying it needs to just be fantastical and have no actual touch of reality, but I'm just wondering if this is just lose the fantastical, nothing at all fantastical, all just too reality-based from how I viewed it. And I think that was a problem for me.
Wow. Okay. It's interesting. Like, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty, I don't want to say dark concept, but it hits hard that this is a film essentially about death.
For sure.
And about, he dies. And I thought that I didn't like his death scene because I thought it was just too quick. Like, right. I don't know. And maybe that was it's Pixar and we can't make anything too upsetting.
Sure.
But I mean, I think back to the friggin' trash compactor scene from Toy Story 3, and I'm like, I don't know, that's pretty grim.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. His death just didn't, like, it was like blink and you miss it. He just fell, and there was no like impact. There was no, I don't know, something about, like, literally there was no impact when he fell that we heard or witnessed, but and then in turn it just didn't have an impact on me. Like I didn't feel his death.
Right.
I wasn't invested enough in him yet. I didn't know him.
Well,
so
did it happen too early
died,
in the film?
I was like,
did it happen too early?
Maybe, but then I don't know, like, you kind of, I guess, yeah, it felt like it happened too early, but then you kind of have to get it out of the way so that the rest of the film can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the film's not about him being alive. See, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I would have. It's a messy concept, I think, and I don't know what I would have done. I don't know how I would have fixed it. I know it didn't work for me, but I don't have an anecdote or an antidote. I don't have an antidote. I don't have any anecdote either, but that's a different story.
So now I'm just kind of rhetorically kind of asking aloud because I'm wondering why it didn't land. But conceptually, it is kind of like A Christmas Carol a little bit because he dies quite early, and then throughout the film, we get more insight to him as a person because we see him interact with his friend the barber, and they have indirectly, I guess it's more the his partner has the conversation with the barber, and they have this profound, deep conversation, and the barber's like, "Well, you never asked about my life, but because you asked, we got to share this." Or they have this deep, profound conversation with Jamie Foxx's mother, and I guess my point is there's some throughout the middle of this film, there's some peeling back of the layers of who this man is and what motivates him and why we should feel sad about him dying and potentially not living his dream. And it's conceptually similar to A Christmas Carol, where we see this jerk of a man who's pitching pennies and making people come in to work on Christmas, and then throughout the film we see flashbacks in his life of, okay, this is why he's sad, he had his heart broken, he was this, he was that.
Yeah, so, and I think that would have made this film better.
No, but I'm saying
more of that.
Oh, if this, yeah, okay. What I'm saying is, like, this film had some. I'm wondering why it didn't land. You're saying maybe there wasn't enough.
Maybe there wasn't enough. Like, I think, yeah, so in some ways, conceptually, this is like A Christmas Carol, but it's like A Christmas Carol if the whole damn thing happened with the ghost of Christmas Present.
Right.
If the whole thing happened, we don't get any backstory. I mean, we get a little bit, like we get a couple flashbacks with his when he's talking about his dad.
Right, and his first
but
jazz
it's very
experience.
Minor.
Very,
like, we don't know.
Yeah.
We know he's got a strained relationship with his mom. We don't really know why. She doesn't like that he's into jazz. Yeah, okay, but her husband was into jazz. Does that mean that was a rubbing point for them as well? Like,
right.
I don't. There's not enough. I don't ever end up caring enough about Jamie Foxx's character. I care about 22, but I don't. I don't end up caring enough about Joe. Is his name Joe? I don't end up caring enough about Joe to A, be impacted by his death, or B, really, it's all about him living out his dream. I don't care about his dream. I don't care about him. I don't know him. I'm not, by the time his dream's established, he's dead. And I'm like, okay, shit, son, your time is up. Like, please make another appointment with a receptionist. Like, yeah, I don't know. So I think that falls flat for me. Really, fundamentally, my issue with this film, and it's super minor, because I do think, like, you were saying you think it's too grounded in reality. Sure. I disagree. I think there's a lot of fun stuff with, like, my favorite moments on this are the moments when we're not on Earth. Right. So I like the sort of the physical manifestation of these, what are they? They're basically like the laws of the universe. And they're like, we're just in a form that will help you understand with your primitive brains and, whatever. We're actually these astro beings that are, and they're funny, like the counting guy, and the fact that everyone kind of dislikes the counter behind his back, and like,
They kind of patronize him when he brings up problems that he's found.
Yeah. Okay. All right. It's a big deal. Yep. Okay, bud.
We'll get right on that.
Yeah. See, that stuff was all really fun to me. And I guess maybe, maybe I wanted more of that. Maybe there was too much reality. Maybe there was too much on Earth stuff. So I don't know. I complained that I felt like it was a ripoff of Inside Out. And I'm not crazy about Inside Out. Like, I would put Inside Out maybe in the silver category of Pixar films.
Sure.
But now I'm complaining that it's not enough like Inside Out. So I'm like, I think maybe I saw potential in this to be a better Inside Out.
Okay. Yeah.
And it didn't end up being that. But to me, the only moment that really misses, the moment where I was like, oh, really, was right at the end. I don't like the ending. I don't like that Joe gets a second chance.
Sure. Why?
Because his time was up. And I just felt like a better story. Like, I felt like it devalued the sacrifice that he made. I mean, Yeah, yes and no. Like, it's the same argument as people are like, well, the fact that they spoiler for Star Wars, but I mean, if you don't know at this point, I feel like there's no way to spoil Star Wars. Like,
Right.
if a movie hasn't come out within 2 months of Star Wars, I feel like it's impossible to spoil Star Wars because it just becomes so well publicly known. That's one of my resolutions for 2021, by the way.
What?
Everyone's bent out of shape that we spoiled too many, we're like, this is an episode about Titanic. Anyways, in the last 5 minutes of The Sound of Music, when, and people are like, whoa, what are you doing? So I'm going to try to spoil less films than the films that we're advertising we're spoiling.
That's our service to mankind this year, not spoiling films unintentionally.
Just don't, the ship sinks. But I, what was I saying? So it's the same argument as in like Star Wars, where people are like, well, the fact that Emperor Palpatine comes back means that Anakin's sacrifice and throwing him down the thing, it devalued. Well, no, it doesn't, because it was still a sacrifice. He still did what he did. His motivation doesn't change. His intentions were pure. So that doesn't change, and it doesn't make that sacrifice any less important. But I just felt like, I don't know, it was too much of a, better put a bow on this thing, better tie it up and end it in a way that families are going to be happy with. I know, he's just, sorry, dude, you're dead. It's done. You don't get a second chance. You don't get to do it again. And I thought a far more, considering this dude has like cracked the uncrackable egg in getting 22 to like find her spark.
Sure.
I thought it would be far more meaningful if he stayed there as like the greatest, what are they, motivators or mentors or whatever they were?
Right.
The people who help others find their, and that he was like, the highest, most honored motivator out of all of them. And that he's like, and that's his purpose. Because it turns out music is not what you're meant. It's not your purpose.
Right.
Right. You think everything's, music's my spark. It's everything. I'm supposed to do music. And it's like, well, okay, yeah, but it's far more complex than that. And so maybe it's like, no, like, I just thought there was an opportunity for some really cool story to happen where, your purpose, your actual purpose, the reason you exist, isn't something that was ever going to be fulfilled in life. But it was in death that you're able to, I don't know. I just thought that was more powerful than, oh, yeah, okay, now you get to continue your jazz career, man. Like, I don't know. So that's my beef. I think Joe should be dead. Screw Joe. Joe doesn't, he doesn't get another shot. He's done.
Sure.
But,
yeah, that's
maybe
interesting.
Maybe that's morbid. I don't know. I thought it was too cookie cutter of an ending.
Listen, it's not morbid because you're talking about a fictional character and you're talking a story element. So at least I'm not perceiving it as morbid. I think it's just fine. I also don't think it's morbid because I also independently, we don't tell each other what we think of the films till we come here, but I independently came to a very similar conclusion. So I'm not going to throw stones at you because, well, I kind of came to the same conclusion. But ultimately, I thought quite similar, not to the same degree of, hey, maybe he finds his purpose in the afterlife of becoming a mentor or insert blank of whatever he does to help others. I thought of an alternate ending would have been more profound if Mr. G goes to the great beyond, but not so much, hey, not so much of, hey, you've kicked the can, that's it. More of a him coming to terms and saying, you know what? I began this film worried about my death, worried about missing out on my big break, worried about missing out on my purpose. And I thought it would have been more rich from a character development perspective, from a growth perspective, if by the end of the film as a character, he finishes and he goes, oh, okay. I realized that throughout my life, I enjoyed my life. I enjoyed my mother. I enjoyed the breeze in my air. I always enjoyed those things, and that was the point of my life. I've achieved the purpose of my life, it's time to go to the next step. Something along those lines. Not just, well, 2.0, here we go, let's try it again. So,
Right.
you know, I ultimately was a little bit turned off by the bow tying on the end. That was just, it felt kind of not congruent with a good story, or at least an appealing ending. So
I'm already wanting to break my resolution. Can I, like, so what is the threshold? Can I spoil a film that is 31 years old?
I don't know.
Like, how does that work? Especially if it's if it's a movie we've already done an episode on.
I guess I feel like the fair thing would be to say, hey, I'm going to talk about insert blank movie. If you're going to be ruined or upset by something I talk about this film, skip ahead 30 seconds or a minute or something.
Yeah, okay. So for the next 30 seconds
Sure.
to 60, we'll call it 60 seconds. For the next 60 seconds, I'm going to talk about the 1990 film Ghost,
Sure.
which we've done an episode on. Go listen to it.
Do it.
Don't be a sourpuss. Go listen to the damn episode. All right. Are you ready? Spoilers. If at the end of Ghost, like part of what makes Ghost so great
Yep.
is that Patrick Swayze completes what it is that he needs to complete. He had unfinished business
Sure.
in protecting Molly and bringing his murderer to justice. Yes.
Yep.
And then he moves on. His ass moves to heaven, goes on to the other side. And Demi Moore and Whoopi Goldberg become best friends, and they deal with it. They're like, all right, we're processing it.
And
if the end of that movie came and all of a sudden he's like, hey, I'm back, then you'd be like, oh, that's a cheap ending.
And from a story
and that's
perspective,
what I feel like I got in Soul.
Yeah, and I would agree with you. From a story's perspective, there's something about the richness, the profoundness of, okay, this, that's the end for that segment of that character. Now they're moving on. It's not like, well, here's Happy Ever After. They're starting an organic farm in Wisconsin, right?
Right.
I'm talking about Ghost here, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, spoilers for a different film are now over. We bring you back to our scheduled and advertised programming. Sorry for ruining the movie Ghost for anyone if whatever.
One thing I will say is I'm kind of toned in on this cookie cutter element of Pixar, and we've talked about this in Pixar films before. And I'm a detail oriented person, so I am going to call you out. You said our last Pixar film that we reviewed was Onward. Actually, the last one we did do Inside Out. So that.
Okay. Sorry, the last released of the Pixar films that came out.
Right. I think, okay.
It was the last one to come out, and so that's what we...
New release.
Friggin' nitpicker.
Yeah. When I went into this, I was wondering, okay, are we going to follow the cookie cutter of Pixar films where there's a compelling underlying story, maybe they hook you in at the beginning and you're really drawn to the edge of your seat, a lot of filler in the middle, and then the end it pulls through and you go, wow, the beginning and middle are great. Or sorry, the beginning and the end are great. The middle was filler. It is what it is. It's kind of the Pixar curse. To me, this film didn't even have that. There wasn't anything at the beginning that I thought was magic, nothing in the middle that was magic, nothing at the end that was magic. And it's kind of like when you're watching the Food Network and someone makes a beautiful souffle and you try and do it at home and you use the same ingredients, but you weren't able to pull it all together. I thought this film was going to. It has underlying elements and themes that I'm all over. You know me. I got some La La Land vibes to this, someone finding their purpose. There's a lot of jazz. I love jazz in film and just kind of the kind of emotional, transcending kind of role it can play in people and characters. But all the things that I had ties to other films or elements of things that I like that were in Soul just really didn't come together. And it did. To me, it didn't even achieve the Pixar curse of having like one element of the story that was like magic and the rest that were just like filler. It was just kind of all, So,
It was just a big pile of for you.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not platinum. I'd maybe award it gold.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But, even then, like, maybe not. Maybe silver. High silver. I'd give it a high silver. It's not a bronze, and it's not pewter.
It's not what do we consider cars? Like, just I don't even
Teflon.
know.
Pyrite. I don't know. Fool's gold.
Yeah. Fool's gold. Oh, I don't know why I don't know why I'm getting such a kick out of all your like different materials and translating them to Pixar films.
Because distance makes the heart grow fonder.
I think so.
It's been too long. You're not oversaturated by my genius anymore. So it's striking you in different ways. Yeah. I think the film had a lot of heart.
Sure.
I don't think it's the greatest Pixar film. It's not my new favorite Pixar film.
No.
It doesn't even crack my top 5.
Sure.
But it sounds like for you, it maybe doesn't even crack your top 10.
Yeah. I don't think so.
And I mean, there's not that many. Like, I don't really care for Up. I don't really care. It's like 300 people just stopped listening to the podcast.
That's a hot take for sure.
It's a thing. I mean, I don't dislike Up.
No.
I just don't, I was late seeing Up.
Sure.
And so Up doesn't tickle me in the way that Toy Story does.
Sure.
And so, yeah, it's Soul. I would recommend Soul.
Sure.
If you haven't seen it, go watch it, especially if you have a Disney Plus. It's free. Just go watch the damn thing.
Sure.
It's not, I don't think it's a bad movie. And, I don't even think it's a miss. I don't even think it's like, I don't think they're like, we were swinging for the fences and the guy dropped the bat and didn't hit the, like, to me, it's not that bad.
Sure.
I would recommend watching it if you haven't watched it. But don't expect to be, don't expect to get all ooey and gooey from it.
Sure.
It doesn't, it doesn't hit in the same way that some of the older platinum Pixar films does.
I think what I would say is if someone asked me and they were feeling adventurous or they felt like expanding and watching something new, I'd probably mirror exactly what you said, and I'd say, hey, give it a try. If you can watch it for free anyway on Disney Plus, like if you have it already, do it. But I would also tag a little caveat at the end. If you're feeling like just watching something that you love, like if you'd rather watch Toy Story, Monsters, Inc., insert your blank Pixar film, I would...
And pick that instead.
I would also add that. I'd say, hey, you know what? I'm open to you watching it. I don't think you'll regret it, but it's... Maybe watching that one that you like for the 74th time, you still might have a better time. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think if you already have Disney Plus, watch it.
Sure.
If you don't have Disney Plus, watch it anyway. You know what? Spend the $7 or whatever it is, $8. Check out some of the other stuff on there while you're at it.
Maybe even first. Check out the other things first.
Yeah. But it don't be like, I'm gonna give Soul a try, so I ordered the Steelbook 4K Blu-ray thing. No, stop. Get your life together.
Yeah.
You don't need that.
No.
Yeah. Do you have anything else?
I don't think so. I think I'm about ready to score it, and then I think that's about it.
I'm nervous about your score, man.
Really?
I think you're gonna break a lot of hearts here.
I don't think so. I might, but I don't think so.
All right. Scale is 0 to 10.
On my scale, I gave it a 5.
Adventure.
I gave it a 5.
Okay. That's fair.
I don't think anyone can be upset with that. Is it good? No. Is it bad? No. And I think my 5 out of 10 really reflects that. For the listeners of the show, the regular listeners, they know I use an alternative scale as well. It's called Marshall scale. I gave it a bit lower. I give it a 4. There's something in the 4 section that says I might watch once to complete a collection or series. For me, that collection or series is Pixar films. I watched it once to just say I've watched all these Pixar films. I don't know if I would actually ever watch Soul again, but I did want to
Have you
watch it
se-
once to complete the series, so to speak. And there were some things in it that I thought had merit, but by no means did I think it was a good film. So a 4 out of 10 on that scale.
But I mean, how is that collection going for you? Like, have you seen every other Pixar film?
No, I still have
There's
a lot.
Pixar films I haven't seen.
I've got some. I wouldn't say heavy lifting. Like there's. I probably won't ever get to that goal because I have no interest in watching the Cars films. But there's some that I probably will sit down and say, okay, it's about time I watched this.
My understanding is that the first Cars film is probably worth it.
Probably. Maybe.
Probably worth it.
You never
Having
know.
not seen the first Cars film, I have no interest in the second or third,
Sure.
especially the third.
Sure.
I think my interest kind of dissipates as it goes. But I don't know. I might watch the first Pixar, or I might watch the first Cars film and be like,
Maybe.
"Oh shit, son! Like, give me more."
And
Give me
who knows?
more.
Maybe it's fantastical enough that it's too fantastical to be too close to reality. So maybe I'll enjoy it, and it'll have some heartwarming aspects that I can relate to, and maybe it will be a favorite of mine. Who knows?
And I think the other one, like, I've also never seen The Good Dinosaur. Somehow I missed that one.
Yeah, I don't know. Now I'm thinking there's probably some I'll just never watch, and I'm content with that.
Yeah.
What did you?
Okay.
What did you give it out of 10?
0 to 10. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it like I don't think it's a bad film. I
No,
do
no,
think
no.
it's a good film.
Okay.
And if someone told me it was a great film, I wouldn't get in a fist fight with them.
No, that's good.
If you told me it was an amazing film, you're cruising for a bruising. But you know, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I give it a 7.1.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
I
makes
think I do.
sense.
I think it's good. I think it's definitely worth a watch. I'd watch it again.
Sure.
It probably will if it's with someone. You know, I might not like just sit down and be like, God, like I got 20 minutes to spare in this airport before my plane boards. I better get cracking on some Soul. No, like if it's
Right.
movie night and people are like, oh, I haven't seen Soul. I haven't seen Soul either. Then I'll be
Right.
like, well, good Lord, put it on.
Put that bad boy
Let's
on.
do this. But yeah, I got no qualms with Soul. I think it's good.
Cool.
It's a good
I
movie.
think the
7.1.
7.1 makes sense. From what you were laying down, it sounded like you liked it a bit more than me. Obviously not an 8 or above. 7.1 makes sense.
Yeah, you picking up when I'm laying down?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pick it up, turn it over, put it back down. Got to toast both sides of that bread.
Oh yeah.
Can I wrap this? Can I do some?
Please.
I never do housekeeping.
Do
and there's
it.
a couple of things I've been thinking about. I want
Excellent.
to emphasize.
Do it up.
And I'm not even going to do all the housekeeping. There's
Sure.
literally 2 things I want to say, and then
Please.
I'm going to throw you the sloppy seconds. Is that
I'm
you
ready.
with that? Is that
I'm
are
on
you gonna
deck.
be hurt?
I'm ready to go.
all right? Number 1, if you listen to this show in any capacity, and you're not on our social medias, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, there's just no reason. You're totally missing out.
You are.
At least
Yeah.
twice, sometimes 3 times a month, we post posts. Imagine that. We post posts with the sole purpose
No pun
of
intended.
allowing you, no pun intended,
Oh, okay.
of allowing you to vote on what film we're going to watch and review next. You can dictate the episodes. Like,
That's wild.
I just and you don't have to do any work. Everything's scroll down, fool. Scroll down and there's like all of the links to everything you could possibly want and a bunch of stuff you don't want. Listed below here. So if you're not on our social media, that is a huge missed opportunity for you. Honestly, it's and you know what? Even if you're not going to listen to any of the given episodes, I think there's something fun in just voting for your favorite of the 4 films.
Oh, for sure.
So you definitely want to check that out. The second thing, if you want to vote, but you want to vote with force, if you want to show up like you own the joint, then the way to do that is through Patreon. So we have a Patreon page,
Yes.
and for less than a cup of coffee a week, yeah, you can support us. And yeah, literally like $1 a month makes a huge difference. Not even just financially. Like, we're trying to grow the show, and every time we're about to make a purchase, we're like, oh, but this would be better. And the purchases become more complicated and more expensive. But they're always like, this would make the show that much better. It's never like, ooh, but this one lights up. It's like, no. This will be beneficial.
Both, and
this will make it easier for us to make the show good.
Yeah, I want to pull the curtain back. Like, it's tangible, like tangible elements that say, oh, let's gravitate toward this piece of equipment because insert whatever equipment we're talking about, it will be better audio quality for the audience, or it might mean you only have to spend an hour editing versus 2 hours that week, or insert, whatever technical example. It's tangible things.
And I think all of those are reflected back on the listener. Like,
sure.
Audio quality, yeah, it's not just like, oh, this one's gonna work with my Wi-Fi, and that's no. It's like you'll hear an audio difference.
Sure.
And the easier, like, it goes without saying, and there's no promises, but it goes without saying that the easier a show is to make, the more of that show is going to be made.
Mm-hmm.
If a show is a total nightmare, pain in the ass to make, you're not going to get much, like, we're not going to put as much out. Because it's complicated, it takes too much time, it's not as easy. The easier a show is, it just gives us the opportunity to do more. We keep talking about video components, but we're never going to get to potentially doing a video component to the show until we're at the, until we can streamline the audio portion of it. So everything's moving forward, and honestly, like $1 a month, makes a huge difference. You won't notice it, we will. And so that's kind of that. And yeah, if like tier 2, 3, and 4, gives you, like, boosts your voting power
By quite a bit.
Like, sometimes we'll upload a vote and it'll be like, well, it'll be interesting to see what happens with this. And then if 2 or 3 of the people who have increased voting power all vote for the same thing, it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess that settles that.
Yeah.
So it's definitely worth it. And again, I think it's like $3 for $3 a month. For $3 a month, you can, all of the votes that you cast on everything are worth 3. Mm-hmm. Which is, again, that's huge. It's huge. So check out our social media. Like, do yourself a favor. Check out our social media. There's something there for you. And please consider supporting us. It makes a huge difference. Not even just financially, but like, from like, it makes us all warm and fuzzy to know you care.
To know that you're there and know that you care.
Yeah. What am I missing? Am I missing anything?
Nope, you hit it all. Like, follow, subscribe, check out the social media, check out the Patreon page. All the links are below. That's it.
And if you want to look cooler than your friends when you show up in class on webcam, buy our merch.
Yes.
Don't wear it. Just have it hanging in the closet visibly in the background. And someone will be like, "Oh man," because you don't want to be the guy. You don't want to be cool enough to be wearing a Movie Men t-shirt. You want to be cool enough to have bought a Movie Men t-shirt and be choosing not to wear it and have it in the, it's the next step up. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what
Anyways,
that, yeah.
Until the next time a friggin' Pixar movie comes out.
Bye-bye.